Good evening. I'm Councillor Lauren Townsend, Deputy Leader of the Council and Cabinet Member for Resources and Customer Experience. Please note that this meeting will be recorded for broadcast on the internet after the meeting has taken place and can be viewed online at the Council's YouTube website. Generally, the public gallery is not filmed, but by entering the meeting room and using the public seating area, you are consenting to being filmed. This evening, there are two decisions to be taken, one by Councillor Mahendran, Cabinet Member for Planning and Placemaking, and I will also be taking one decision. In addition to myself and any other councillors who've decided to join the meeting, a number of senior officers, together with legal, service-based and democratic service colleagues, are also in attendance either online or at Civic. Can I ask anybody who's joined us online to switch off their microphone and camera when they're not speaking, please? And for those in the room, please ensure that you turn your microphone on before you speak. A supply of the papers for this meeting are available on the modern.gov pages of the Council's website. I have not received notification of any members of the public who've registered to speak in advance. I have not been advised in advance that any councillors have registered to speak, but for any councillors who have joined the meeting, just let us know if you wish to speak at the relevant time. Can I remind councillors that any contributions should not exceed 3 minutes and are for speaking about the merits of the decision not to serve as a formal question and answer session. The decision sheet will be published on the modern.gov pages of the Council's website tomorrow, Wednesday, the 18th of February 2026, and I will now take my item. So my item is all about the provision of a new health centre on the Lakes Estate in Bletchley. This is a nice decision. We always like it when we bring forward new expanded facilities. Milton Keynes Council has been successful in this regard elsewhere, so we can often act as kind of a bridge between GPs and ICBs to bring projects like this forward. This would see a relocation of an existing facility at Wadden Way, moved to the new facility in the centre of the new estate, right by the new, I think it's the Warren Play Park. So a very kind of new area that's undergone a lot of renewal and regeneration. And this will obviously have expanded capacity, which is something we're very, very happy about. We're also looking at exciting things like a community pharmacy being on the site, and we're also exploring the possibility of a community cafe, which again will just mean that this becomes kind of a hub for the community at this site until Phase B comes forward on this scheme, which will then bring with it retail units and the like as well. So we're very, very happy with this. You can see how all the funding is laid out in here, and we've got sections 106 contributions. We are forward funding this for the GPs, so there will be some borrowing in the short term, but the doctors will be paying that back over the 30-year lease. And some of the section 106 money will be waiting to come forward because it's coming forward in a development that hasn't completed yet. So yeah, it's not just about kind of the buildings and it being new and shiny. It's also about it being a hub for the community, but also improving health outcomes. This is an area where we have been a bit under pressure with health services in this part of Milton Keynes, and actually this is a good decision at the right time for the benefit of residents. I don't have any members of the public registered to speak on this. Do I have any officers of the council who wish to come forward and offer any further clarity or points of? Nope. And do I have any councillors who wish to speak on this item? Yes, please, Councillor Cannon.
Thank you. I think it's great news for the Lakes Estate. I'd like to give a word of warning that if the council doesn't retain control of the highways, parking, pedestrian areas and lighting, they will get the blame if it does fall into disrepair over time. So I've seen it happen elsewhere, and everybody blames the council.
Yeah, no worries at all. Thank you very much. That's noted, Councillor Cannon. Does anybody else have any contributions to make on this item? Okay, in that case, I will take this decision and I will then pass over to Councillor Mahendran, who is going to take the second decision of this evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Townsend. My decision is on the local nature recovery strategy and the biodiversity GT report. The local nature recovery strategy is in partnership with Buckinghamshire and was led on by them. So we're just looking to endorse that tonight. It has things like the biodiversity priorities and habitats map. And then we also have a statutory duty to adopt one of these, and also a biodiversity duty report. We have to do this, but it's also a priority of the council to promote and increase biodiversity across the city. It's quite important and goes alongside a lot of the sustainability work that we've been bringing forward recently. We've been quite forward thinking on biodiversity. For example, in our planning department, we introduced biodiversity net gain in 2019, which was far ahead of when it was introduced as a statutory commitment by the government. But it's always helpful to have these things backed by the government as well. So that's all I have to say on this. Do any officers wish to say anything? Any councillors wish to speak on this? Councillor Hopkins.
Thank you very much indeed. I very much welcome this and its content, and I hope it isn't just put on the shelf and is actually referred to, because we've got some important decisions coming up. I have one question, if I may, and then just an observation. And the observation is made because I'm completely aware that there's no requirement for any specific proposed action to be carried out, or owners or managers of land are simply not required to make any specific proposed changes, nor any restrictions can be placed on land from this document. The proposals are intended to guide where the public, private and voluntary sectors focus their nature recovery efforts for greater collective impact. My question is, this document was adopted by Bucks Council on the 21st of October last year. Since the 21st of October, we've had 13 delegated decision meetings of this council and 3 cabinet meetings. This isn't a terribly controversial document. I must ask why it has taken so long, because it leads people to suspect there's some relationship between this document, say, and the Reg 19 phase of the local plan or whatever. So I just can't understand why it's taken so long, because none of the delegated decision agendas are terribly long or winded or whatever. So there's no reason why it shouldn't have come forward at the same time or as close to the 21st of October. The second thing I would, if I may, just ask, that you write to the chairman of the Environment and Place Scrutiny Committee, requesting that developers and their planning strategy agents, together with Milton Keynes Council's strategic development teams, plus East West Rail representatives, be asked how they are meeting their nature recovery duties when they attend future meetings, as per the Select Committee work programme, and likewise to the convener of the local plan CAG, that they take full account of this documentation in bringing forward the CAG reports. And can you confirm that the the local nature recovery strategy will form a key part of the local plan MK 2050 as it moves forward to its next stages, and certainly in front of the inspector?
Thank you. I would just remind you that was a lot of questions for what is not a question and answer session.
I think they were requests rather than questions. You can say yes or no to any of them, but anyway.
So this has been forming part of the basis of the local plan process so far. I would also say, with regards to the onus on others to or lack of onus on others to adopt this, it doesn't sit in isolation. As I mentioned at the start, it goes along with quite a lot of extensive work that we do as a council on biodiversity. And I would say through our planning process, we're generally really successful in achieving that. A lot of places, when I speak to people from other councils, biodiversity net gain will often result in some credits being used elsewhere in the country with no link to the local place, but we are incredibly successful in Milton Keynes at getting that BNG placed on site, so it benefits the people that live there and the future residents as well. In terms of why it has taken this long to take the decision, I think Phil put his hand up. I don't know if you want to come in, Phil, but I would also just say I had quite a substantial period of time off as well, because of family reasons. So I think a lot of things in my portfolio were put on pause for a little while as well.
I was just going to say apologies. We were waiting for it to get full sign off, and obviously we just needed to get Bucks to confirm confirmed that they were happy with it as well. So I apologise, it's taken a little bit longer than perhaps it should have done to get here, but its status in planning has been there since it was adopted or was approved by DEFRA Natural England.
Lovely. Do any other councillors wish to speak on this? Okay, well, I will take that decision and close the meeting at 6:10.